to H.O.P the series.
Whether a man or woman, want it or you got it. It's a divine affection. Yeah, you can't live without it. Such a lover, girl. I'll give you all the feels. Step into my world. I promise you'll love it here with me. That skill from my mama, and I can make you better, boy. So take this risk if you wanna. A real lover, girl. I'll give you all the feels. Step into my world. I promise you'll love it here with me. You know this film energy. When I feel safe, when I feel hurt, when I can trust you at your word, that makes me feel soft. I'm just a girl, ready to nurture you. When I feel safe, when I feel hurt, when I can trust you at your word, that makes me feel soft. I'm just a girl, ready to nurture you. Feel energy. Don't love it here. Feel energy. Whether a man or woman, want it or you got it.
H.O.P beats, I was running for this one.
Check it. Now don't be no fool. She make her own money. She do what she do. She smart as a whip. It's all in her talk. She move with the hips. Yeah, it's all in her walk. So don't bring no stress and don't even try. This woman mean business. It's all in her eyes. So just come correct, 'cause she is a queen. She mean what she saying. She say what she mean. Don't worry about her size. If she got thin legs or thick thighs, said you might wanna meet her. Word round town and she a real crowd pleaser. I call it pretty girl magic. Ay. I call it pretty girl magic. Ay. I call it pretty girl magic. Ay. I call it pretty girl magic. Now don't you be rude. She can be nice, it depends on the mood. So just by herself, she doesn't quit. She make you feel something you never forget. This woman is good, she's always on top. She get what she wants, yeah man, it never stops. Her hustle is slow, she's always on go. You ain't already know her power is gold. Don't worry about her size. If she got thin legs or thick thighs, said you might wanna meet her. Word round town and she a real crowd pleaser. I call it pretty girl magic. This girl is the truth. She always provide, yeah, she always come through. She is a force all by herself. She don't take support, no, she don't need no help. Her brain is a weapon, so make sure you know. If you take a piece, yeah, man, you got to go. This woman is strong, this woman is love. She get what you need, yeah, man, Bay is the plug. Don't worry about her size, if she got thin legs or thick thighs. Said you might wanna meet her, word round town that she a real crowd pleaser. I call it pretty girl magic. 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 Don't worry about her size, if she got thin legs or thick thighs. Said you might wanna meet her, word round town that she a real crowd pleaser. I call it pretty girl magic. I call it pretty girl magic. I call it pretty girl magic. I call it pretty girl magic.
Hello, hello, everyone. Woo! This is the first episode of Hop the series, and I am your host, Peach, the
Hey,
founder, the president of House of Peach. And I have the brilliant, let me let you introduce yourself. The VP. What is your name, VP?
my name is Vonda Smack. I am the VP of this of House of Peach. Excuse me, it's been a long day, but I am the VP here to help, empower women,
All
female
right.
entrepreneurs out here.
Okay. So before we check in and let you know how our day actually was, I want to tell our newest viewers about exactly what is HOP, what is the House of Peach. Well, HOP was created to inspire aspiring female entrepreneurs to chase their dreams through the art of storytelling by sharing real stories of courage, perseverance, and success. We empower women to believe in their vision and build the future they deserve. All right. So tonight's topic is She Has the Dream, What's Standing in the Way. But first, before we begin, we're going to talk about our day. Um, Vonda, I'll go first. Do
Oh yeah.
you realize our last episode, our intro episode, had over 1K views?
What? Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's good for the first episode. So
And
that
it wasn't the episode.
we're just us introducing ourselves, basically.
Yeah, so obviously we must be doing something great. So my week, just briefly, I spent my week organizing exactly what I want to do, organizing my nonprofit stuff, organizing my personal business, and just organizing my personal life. So it was just an awesome week of me building and looking forward to new things, implementing new things. That was my week. What about yours?
My week has been, whew, you know me. I'm a lobbyist, so I've been lobbying, getting my goals, public comments together, what I want to say. Finding out who I need to go and talk to get them to vote a certain way on certain bills. Just building relationships. That's how my week has been. Today was by far one of the most shocking days in all days. I had to pat myself on the back today because I've come a long way in advocacy. And if I was the old Vonda or the old Smack, they would have probably been escorting me out of the building today. But I just, I had to take a moment after I left there and just sit in my car and be happy of how much I've grown in my advocacy and lobbying because I could just very well see me snapping today. You know what I'm saying? And it's just and the snapping would have just came from etiquette. You know what I'm saying? But I believe in a higher power. I know the Creator gonna make sure that by Tuesday this bill will pass, and I'll be happy. So I don't want to introduce or say what bill it was, but people, if you follow me, you'll see what it is. And so I just had to tap in today and understand who I am, who Vonda Smack is. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I was just like, wow, I've come a long way because this is the Vonda Smack that a lot of people have not seen. And so, you know, that's how my week been. It's been a good week. Had a little fatigue. I don't know what happened over the weekend, what I ate, but it just did not agree with me. And I was sick for a little bit, but I'm back to normal. And so,
Okay.
huh?
I said, okay. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I
I
don't know what it was, but I'm glad to be back to normal. So I had a little fatigue and all of that, but I'm great. I'm good. My
good.
check-in is good. It was about self-awareness and knowing who I am.
Great. Self-awareness and knowing who you are. That sounds awesome. So let's jump into our topic. Now, this
Yes.
series will be a 1 hour series. We will not be going on for 2 hours. That is not our intentions. So we're going to get into the topic. But first, let me just share a little bit of what's inside the House of Peach app because we do have an app where you can go in and watch previous episodes of phenomenal business owners and you could become inspired, right?
Yep.
Love the app. I love the information. It's tons of resources in there. A lot of how-to videos for anyone that's interested in taking the entrepreneurial journey and don't know exactly what it is you want to be. So tap into the app. Here are some features. And this is what's inside the app. We have a woman's timeline in there, which I love. It gives some background about women's rights. Talk about marches, just our history in general, our rights in the United States. It's also a community section where you could create groups and chat and learn. We are also working on the Pitch Her Purpose grant, so stay tuned for that. The application will be opening by the end of the year. I personally have already invested $500 to the next female entrepreneur inside. Well, you won't get it until unless you win the grant, but I have come out of my personal pockets because I believe in what we're doing here. And then it's just some other information inside there, how to become a guest on this show, how to become a mentor, because that's essentially what a lot of people need. And you will learn based off this topic tonight. She has the dream, what's standing in her way, how hopefully you hear these reasons and you can kind of help us alleviate some of the stress off these potential entrepreneurs, right? So
Right.
let's get into the list. I know it looks very long, but we're not going to get into each and every one. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger.
There you go.
So we probably get through the first five.
Hmm.
Um, so the first one, and I do have videos for some of them. The first one is, access to funding. Female entrepreneurs often have limited access to loans, investor, and startup capital, right? Because most of the time, most budding entrepreneurs get that funding from either themselves working or from a family member or they're part of an organization. I know a lot of women got their startup capital from churches, being a part of several different clubs, but for the most part it's very hard to get money to start up anything. I know for myself personally, like I expressed on the last live stream, I was an at home mom. I knew I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I tried several things. I watched YouTube videos of the how to become an entrepreneur without money. And I'm telling you, that is a difficult road. So I decided to become a nurse to get the funding that I needed to start some of these projects that I took on. Vonda, what do you have anything to add about the access to funding when you were starting to build your dreams? How did you get money, or did you raise it yourself, or
I think for me, for me to get funding, it was, making sure my business idea was good. I took it around to a couple of people just to see, close friends, see what they thought. And when it come to the funding, I ain't gonna lie to you, I had a lot of doors closed, a lot of no's or not approved, and not knowing, they don't give you a reason or why most of the time. But then it became family, organizations you belong to, investing into what it is you're doing. And that's how I first did it. And then you become very knowledgeable of the different funding that's out there for you when you're starting out a business. I mean, there are more now than there was back then when I started Smack Entertainment. A lot of people don't want to invest into no entertainment company. So it came from, friends and other people in that type of field to invest in my idea. Yeah.
right? Yes, 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 yes. And so you did had to do like a crowd funding. What is it? Crowd sourcing, a crowd funding, basically.
But back then it wasn't. That's not what we called it. You just went up to somebody. You have a conversation. This is what I need, and this is what I'll give back in so many years. You know what I'm saying? This is what I can give back to you, and then it also comes with a little bit of interest. But you need that to get started so that you can get out there. But you also got to sell the story so that people understand your dream, your vision. You know what I mean? And that's the other thing. That's why I'm glad we got the pitch contest that's going to come up. People have to be able to want to invest into it. You just can't say I got this business and we're going to do this and that's it. Nah, you can't do it like that. They want to hear that lived experience, that story, that public narrative. And I didn't have a problem back then. I was able to raise what I needed to get my business idea launched.
Awesome. So, for those of you watching and will watch later, I created a nice little template that I'm gonna upload on the House of Peach on YouTube, on our pages on Facebook, and also in the mobile app. It's going to be a list of funding for female entrepreneurs. I believe some of them are startups, but I'm going to place it there. It'll be a nice little, just like you see this up here, it's going to be a nice little advertisement that's giving you a list. So, we're going to kind of move on from funding and go to the second reason.
Can I
And
can I say one last thing about the funding, especially when with the resources you have on the app? Do not get discouraged if it is overwhelming for you. I want to say, please reach out or put a call out to somebody who can help you fill it out, because those applications at times can seem overwhelming. Don't put what you think there. If you have to question it, reach out. Send a white flag out. Hey, somebody help me. Just don't put if you don't understand it. Ask someone. That's what I want to say. Because sometimes
I,
you can put the wrong stuff and your application will get denied.
I'm glad you brought that up because then this is a perfect segue to bring in, especially a lot of this is grants. So hire a grant writer if you can or gain access to one. You
Yes.
know, they can be very helpful for
Yes.
you to get the money. So, yeah, a grant writer is an excellent way to get the funds. All
Yeah.
right. So let's move on to the second one, which is a biggie for me when it comes to female entrepreneurship, right? Fear of failure.
Hmm.
Fear of failure. Um, I have a video that shows you this wonderful female entrepreneur tells you how to deal with it. And once we're finished, Vonda, I think we should share our first business venture and then share how do we overcome the fear of failure, because
Okay.
that's a big one. All right, so I want y'all to listen to this: tackling your fear of failure.
Here are some things I would tell my younger self if I were starting a business. Instead of trying to figure out how do I get over the fear of starting something new, I would ask myself, how do I feel the fear and do it anyways? When I was younger, I was trying to get rid of a feeling before I would take an action. And it wasn't until my back was against a wall where I felt terrified, but I felt also like I had no choice but to act, that I realized that you don't act without fear. You carry it with you and do it anyways. And I remember looking up the definition of courage, and I realized that courage cannot exist without fear. And that was when I realized that I don't wish for fear to go away, but I instead wish for courage to be present. And then when I realized that I needed to build the muscle of courage, that is when I realized, like, I don't need to waste all this time trying to get rid of the fears, trying to get rid of the anxieties, trying to get rid of all these thoughts and feelings that I have about failing. I just need to build the muscle of courage, which is accepting those thoughts and feelings and doing it anyway.
All right. I think she gave some awesome tips. And in fact, everything that she said is kind of how I navigated the fear of failure. I can remember my very first business venture, my very first real one, because I was always kind of circling around entrepreneurship. Do anybody remember eBay? Do you remember eBay, Von?
Yeah.
See, back in the day, eBay was a thing, right? Everybody used it. It was the popping thing to do. I was buying off of it a lot. And then I started to say, why am I always a consumer on here? I can make money. So at the time, I was a young female, maybe, I don't know, 30. I had three children and I was an at home mom. So I decided, listen, I'm going to get in my vehicle during the day and I'm going to go into these high class thrift stores and these high end areas. And I'm going to go in and see if I could find high price clothing. And I'm going to refurbish them or clean them up and sell them on eBay. That was my first attempt at entrepreneurship. Now that was easy because it was digital. I didn't have to encounter anyone. But my very first actual business that I actually built was called Necklace Envy. And that's where I was selling accessories and I had to go out into the public. And I could remember my very, very first um vendor show, like my vendor showing, just having the table and all that. I was super nervous. I mean, I got up super early, 3 o'clock in the morning, pacing the floor, afraid. And then, like this lady that just was on, I said, listen, you're gonna hate yourself if you don't do it. Face the fear. Go afraid. Go afraid, and eventually you'll get over it. And let me tell you, I went afraid. I packed up my tables, my chairs, my merchandise. I had it all tagged up. I went in there scared. And I realized that the fear was unnecessary. Everybody was friendly, helpful, gave me tips on how to be a vendor, how to set up, and it was smooth selling from there. Now imagine if I just would have succumbed to the fear. I wouldn't have created all the things that I've created so far. I wouldn't even be on this freaking live stream talking to you, trying to encourage you to face your fear and become an entrepreneur. So, for you, Vonda, do you remember your first entrepreneurial thing that you did? And
Yeah.
how did you handle the fear?
You look. So my first entrepreneur business was Smack Entertainment. It's no longer in existence. It's been rebranded after many, many years of not being in business, but it was Smack Entertainment. I really thought, like, yo, I can make this. I'm paying all this money to go to other people's events and go to, their parties. I can do this. And so I started off by renting venues, You know what I'm saying? And venues back then were very, very expensive. No one ever told me what all I had to do to make sure that I get the people in to help me with the money I'm putting out. You feel what I'm saying? And back in those days, and this is back in the, I'm going to say the mid 90s. So I'm going around, I keep renting these venues, and at the end, I'm finally, oh, I got to bring all this money with me. When you do one event and you don't have your money to pay the bills because the venue gets their money, but then you got to pay for DJ security and all that. No one ever told me that, yo, you got to bring that money with you. So my first party, I was in the hole bad. And so, and this is in Maryland, I was in the hole bad, and it was a nice, I felt, like the vibe of the party would have been great. And I said, okay, women like to see male strippers. So I tried to do a stripper show for women. I didn't nobody taught me about advertising. Oh no, you can't just put that on MySpace and think people gonna come. You gotta get out in the street and actually go to where the women are. So my first three events under Smack Entertainment, I was in the whole big time. And it wasn't until a friend of mine gave me an idea and said, you need to start going to businesses that already have like a nightclub or something, like go to nightclubs that are happening or bars. And that's what I started doing, was telling them to give me your slowest day. I guarantee I will, you will make more money. And they would give me their slowest day. And that's what happened. They made more money. That's how I began to pay off the debt instead of going to those investors or friends who gave me money to get the venues, and then I got to pay people back and there's a little interest. So I learned my lesson. I thought I was ready to start out in this business, and every time I had an event, my nerves was bad. My anxiety was going crazy because I didn't want it to be like the first event. So it wasn't until I educated myself, and that's why we have Smack E.N.T now, which stands for Everybody Needs This. Because when I went back to get the name, it was gone. You go to another state, it's something else. And I was like, yo, this ain't even right. So everybody think it stands for entertainment, but it stands for Smack Everybody Needs This. And it's been, anytime I do an event, I've mastered and been coached and mentored by people who have been in this business for a long time to teach me how to, be on top.
Yeah, wow. All
Yeah.
right. So I've heard several things in this fear of failure space. I heard you say the loss of the financial loss. Like, did that make you just want to just throw in the towel and just say, you know
Yeah.
what? I want to quit.
I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, it made me want to throw in the towel. It made me want to give up. I was, my whole attitude, my composure. I was snapping, for days. I was mad, like I was carrying that, and it just took somebody who believed in what I had going on to sit me down and like, let's look at this. Let's see what went wrong. Oh, so that's when I knew I didn't have education in promotion and marketing. I didn't have education on you gotta stop sometimes using your friends, you know what I'm saying, and as like a DJ or whatever, right? That's not who the people want to see. And it took me to look and see, what parties are people going to in the masses, who is the DJ that's DJing, and building a relationship and getting them to do an event. You feel what I'm saying? And it was just more education that I needed. I was trying to take who I was in college and bring it out into, the real world, not knowing that all your college friends, they're gonna come to the party that's at college. Once they get their degree, they going back home. You gotta get out and meet the people in the city that you in. So that's what it was. It was a lot I had to do in a quick time. And, you know, here we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. See, listen, your entrepreneurial goal in the beginning was huge. I was
Huge.
doing
I lost a lot of
small
money.
things. Me becoming a vendor, started Necklace Envy, just by vending and then finding consignment shops that could sell the pieces for me while I was working. That
Hmm.
worked for me. I guess I minimized my risk. I mean, like the pieces I were buying were maybe a dollar or two, and I was flipping it for like $20. So I minimized my risk. I wasn't as bold as you were, but I still felt the fear that I would fail. And but you know what? I still saw the brightest side. I'm like, listen, if none of this stuff sells, at least I have a whole bunch of jewelry that I could wear personally.
Well, you try going to rent out a venue that holds 500 people, and then you got 10 security guards there. Remember, I said the venue can hold up to 500, and only 100 people show up. So just think about that.
Yeah, well, I know from experience, but we'll talk about that later as I try to venture off. Because when you're an entrepreneur, listen, you will come up with so many ideas and you will
Mhm.
try so many things because you have a creative spirit. Would you agree with me, Vonda? As an
Yes.
entrepreneur, you have a
Mhm.
creative spirit. You're always trying to either improve things or introduce something new.
Right. That is true. I would agree with you on that because you just can't keep throwing a party. You got to throw it in there. And that's how I got into the independent music on Sound Hype. You got to try different things. Can't just keep throwing stripper parties and throwing just parties to be throwing parties and not giving, you got to be something different than what's out there. You got to have yours to stand out than everybody else. So, creativity, I'm going to say yes. It's just like clothes, it's a fashion cycle. Got to have different things.
All right. So I hope y'all are enjoying all the information that we're sharing with you, our personal experiences. And again, this is House of Peach, the nonprofit where we're imparting wisdom for future entrepreneurs. I'm sorry. So now the next one is lack of mentorship. And you mentioned you had a mentor.
I went and found one that they came to me. I guess they got tired of seeing me losing. And at first when they came to me, this is funny. I was like, I'm good. I don't need your help. You know what I mean? And it was them not giving up on me. It took about two times them coming to me and putting some facts in front of my face. And I'll never forget it. They really helped me out, man. Like they've had that business before, and that's the thing we gotta understand is low. If you're having problems, it's okay to reach out for help and having somebody to mentor you. I've since then I've had mentors, and I'm 53 years old. I still got mentors.
All
What
right.
about you?
So,
What about you?
all right. So let me be honest. When I started Necklace Envy, I didn't have a mentor. I had the internet. And I mean, like I said, it really wasn't too much risk in doing Necklace Envy. It was bringing me about $200 a day. I don't know why I stopped. I don't know why I stopped. Between consignment and, well, the consignments gave me about 100 a day.
Mm.
And that's stocking other stores, allowing them to sell it for me. And me going out vending garnered me maybe about $300 to $400 depending on the event, but the minimum was like, sometimes 250 in that range.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I stopped. I should have kept on going with it.
Yeah.
But where I needed a mentor, and this is where you come in, is when I was trying to branch over to having parties. I don't know why in my rabbit loving my I thought that I could do that, but I tried it. I just saw a need. I said, this is not happening in this state of Delaware. Let me fill this need. And it wasn't working because I needed a mentor. And it
Mm.
was not until I met you and you were giving me so much good advice that I hardly listened to. I was a little bullheaded, but then eventually,
Came around.
but life goes on. But people, you need a mentor. You need a mentor. And hopefully here we can provide that as we continue to build our network. But since we don't have that actual capability yet, I suggest that you go online and just type in mentorship in your city. Check out the Better Business Bureau. It's a few other orgs that can assist you. Like in the financial piece that I'm uploading, there are some of those spaces that offer mentorship, not only just, along with the grants to
Hmm.
help you out. And then it's a space called SCORE, SCORE, where you can actually go on and they'll assign you a mentor to help you build your business. So please don't be bullheaded like me. Get a mentor.
Y'all heard what she said, and I'm a witness.
Shadow. Yeah,
I'm a witness.
shadow someone. It'll make your life a lot easier. So I'm wondering if I just lucked out when it came to building necklace envy, because I made a lot of great contacts with that. And then I don't know, life happened. And then I stopped, which will lead us to the fourth reason: family and caregiving responsibilities, balancing children, elder care, and household responsibilities, family obstacles. So
Yeah.
I do have a video with this young lady talking about family obstacles and entrepreneurship. It kind of it makes it harder. It makes it harder. So let me let y'all listen to this.
Comes down to entrepreneurship, when it comes down to motherhood, your hard is going to be so different than your friend's hard that's a mom. I just remember listening to so many moms with 37 kids saying, I built this 18-figure business and with my 7 kids and I had 2 on my back. And I'm just like, how? I think the most that I slept at that point was maybe 3 hours. I wanted to show up and I wanted to do all the things and I just couldn't. I was tired. When it comes down to entrepreneurship, when it comes down to motherhood, I know I am in my way building my life for my family in Priscilla's way, in Priscilla's terms, and it's just gonna look and feel so different. And it took me like this past year to really feel good with that.
Wow, look at that. You muted. You muted. Can't hear you.
So
There
I'm
you
sorry. I wanted to share my entrepreneurial journey, but let's talk about what she said. Did you agree with her? Like it's hard. It's a whole nother life from just being a regular caregiver. I know
hmm.
you were a caregiver to your grandmother. I was a caregiver to 3 children.
Yeah,
Trying to navigate that entrepreneurial space is very difficult.
it is. I'm loving your pictures up here. You want to talk about them first, or you want me to get into what I was going to say with grandma?
Well, you could go ahead and talk about, your hardships,
Tell
you handling your family and your caregiving responsibilities, and let us know how you balance that, right? Because essentially you got to be a master of time management.
you. You got to. Let me tell you, there was some I took some risk on. Okay, so when I had to start taking care of my grandmother because she had dementia, you know what I'm saying, and borderline Alzheimer's, it was hard. I ain't even gonna hold you. It was so hard. I had to, find a caregiver for, to watch grandma because you can't leave her at home alone. And she had sundowners, so she'd be up at night. You feel what I'm saying? She wouldn't be asleep. Because when she sleep, we good, right? And so I had to actually pay out of pocket for someone to watch my grandmother so I could continue with the business. I had so many dates. I was hooked up with the nightclub that I had, dates that would happen 2 times a month, sometimes three. I couldn't let them down or artists down. And so I had to start adding that in to, like the bills for an event to go. I got to get a caregiver. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't market as much. I would try taking grandmom with me, you know what I mean? And she just didn't like being riding in a car at night while I'm going to different parties around my city, putting flyers on cards. I mean, She tried to get out the car one time and the alarm was going off. So yeah, I had to change up things, and I had to actually, get a team that could help me to do the promo and marketing, hit nightclubs that are closed, that are open, put flyers on cars, let people know this is coming. I need you to be here for the let out. And so I noticed that I was getting into a payroll and I needed to pay people once I started, having to care for my grandmother. So that's things that really, my bills were higher, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I got a whole team. I lied to you not. Whole promotion and marketing team. And I give them a schedule. This is what I needed you to do. And then I had to get an assistant. There were times I couldn't make meetings. So my assistant had to go and do the meeting. We weren't on this Zoom and all of this. I need you to go in person, go ahead and, talk to them. You already know what I will agree to and what I won't. So yeah, bills started going up.
Wow. 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 Wow.
How
And
was
you
it for
kept
you?
pushing.
Yeah, I kept pushing. Now for you, with the your entrepreneurship with the necklaces, how was it for you with your with the family? Like, how did you balance that? I can see that you brought your baby
Okay.
girl with you.
Well, how did I balance it? All right. So necklace envy started to grow. And nursing school, and I was a nurse during the day. Excuse me. So like you said, as you saw in the picture, let me show a picture of my beautiful daughter and I. Where is she? There she is right here. So I started to add my kids. I didn't pay assistants. My children became my assistants. While, I can also babysit them and be that caregiver. So it was like a team effort. So, which was wonderful because while I was on one side of the table, I mean, you see that it had three rows of tables of all that stuff.
Mhm.
My children would man a table. I have two daughters, one son. My two daughters would be at a table. I would be at one. My son was in charge of helping me pack and unpack. So we turned it into like a family endeavor. Now I did have some nighttime gigs, and at the time I was married, so my husband was sort of cooperative. And when he wasn't, my mother-in-law kind of helped out during those times. She was kind of cooperative. So, it worked itself out, but then eventually it becomes overwhelming because children have different needs. Like my son was an IEP kid. I would later find out that he was going to be schizophrenic. So that was a lot of work going in and out of the school, assisting him, showing up for meetings, showing up for my career, which was a nurse during the day, and then showing up to activities for just the children in general. So it was a juggler. Like I said, you had to be the master of time
Moving things
management.
around, time management. That's
Yes.
the big thing right there. Time
And
management.
then, again, you also with the time management piece, it's not just showing up to the events. I had to do the behind the scenes stuff. I
Hmm.
had to do inventory with all my stuff. I had to create log sheets.
Hmm.
um at the end of the night, I had to make sure I had all the monies I was supposed to have. Just the same way you run a retail store. Vending is a mini retail store, and then I restock things. It was just a whole serious operation. I had to take a room in my house to accommodate Necklace Envy. So
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of time management. I loved it. It was a stepping stone for me, and I love the experience. I mean, it was difficult. Some nights I wanted to pull my hair out, especially when the kids really needed me, and Necklace Envy needed me. I was just like, but I made it. I made it work. I made it work, and I made the money.
I've broken a
Um,
laptop before. I just got so frustrated. I like threw it. I was tight. So I understand that frustration part. But you can look back on things like that. I haven't had a moment like that since, but
Right.
it's good to look back on where you were and where you are today. So, for our females who are trying to become entrepreneurs, nobody said it was going to be easy. I'm pretty sure myself and Peach could tell you a million stories. I know times where I've had to sleep in my car because I was so tired because somebody on my team may not have showed up to help me break things down, and I had to do it by myself, but I was too tired to drive back home, so I get me a little hour and a half nap in the car before I try to make it home. So there's a lot
Right.
of stories, but that's the drive, that's the passion because you want your business to thrive.
Correct.
Sacrifices.
Correct. Also in one of the photos, I'll show that. Let me switch it with me. This is the humble beginnings of I am me.
Yeah,
So
remember that. Yeah.
so what you see here, like I said, as an entrepreneur, you're always creating. You're always building skills. So me doing necklace envy helped me build people skills.
Hmm.
And so in my mind, I'm like, well, listen, I now want to host parties because I see a need. And now I want to create an organization surrounding that need. So this is me sitting in a chair and me using my people skills that I learned from Necklace Envy. And I'm building an actual nonprofit. So
Yes.
we'll talk about that another time.
I just thought that was
Um,
so dope how you did that. I was like, yo, this is dope.
I don't even know how I did it. Idea, let's do it.
It reminds you, and what's crazy is back in the day, that's what they did was have house parties for politicians. It started in people having house parties, introducing people, and you go from house to house and introducing that candidate. That's how Barack Obama did it. So I loved how you did that. I was like, yo, this is a house party. Not like what the movie we watch, but a house party and getting other people's ideas. So I really, when I saw that, I said, yo, this is so clever, clever, mastermind. I like
Thank
it.
you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. But I learned that from the vending space because some of the vending locations aren't necessarily local. Sometimes they're inside of people's homes. Like at my daughter's baby shower, I have vendors there. Guess why? Because people don't bring gifts. So I'll bring the gifts to you. You can go over to a table and purchase my grandchild a gift.
Oh, I love it. When you told me that, I said, yo, that's so mastermind. Ooh, that's lovely. Oh, you didn't bring a gift? Plenty of vendors here.
Go and support the vendors. They have headbands, they have clothing, they have this. And so, I just started building it. Not only was I, selling, I became a consumer. I started creating opportunities for people. So we are almost at the end of the show. Let's talk about the fifth one in which you
Yeah.
said it. You always saying it. Limited professional networks. You got to build a network of people around you. And again, I did not have a network until later on, and maybe I could have thrived. Some of these businesses could have probably still been thriving if I had actual help doing them. But eventually I got to a space where, I got help and got me some mentors, people that was giving me advice, but you do have to build a network, and Smack is awesome with that. How do you build a professional network? Because
Let me
that's one
tell
of
you,
the issues.
one of the things is I need to not, I want it to be global. I just didn't want to be in one spot, just in my state. I wanted to be, I want you to know Smack E.N.T and more than just Delaware. So anytime I have friends who live in other states and say I flew to Atlanta, I take me at least 500 business cards People thought I was crazy. I was leaving my business cards all over the airport. The airport I flew out of and the airport I flew into. Put my business cards, and they have little catchy sayings, network is key. If you want to network, hit me up. And I have my email address. And they have a little picture of me, and smack the indie plug. And that's how I was able to start doing the showcases I was doing in Delaware and Atlanta and Texas and Maryland and Jersey, just starting to be in more places than just one, because I truly believe in network is key. Your net worth is your network. It's from the people that you meet. You feel what I'm saying? And so was bringing in different artists from all over, because the showcases, it just started. People say it's just the same people. This is the complaints that I was getting from people who were coming. So I started networking in other states. Then I became an A&R, which a lot, and I didn't advertise that because I didn't want people looking for stuff for free. And then I started learning about Sony Orchard, and I just started getting out there. I started learning about how to do stuff with magazines. I was like, oh, here we go, my journalist part. And I just kept building on to my brand. So for anybody to say when it's music in the DMV, they don't know who Smack the Indie Plug is, there's something wrong. Because I've been everywhere. But that's, connecting with
Awesome.
other people. You know what I'm saying? You got to network with other professional people. And when you got more in your pot, it helps you when you're working with other people. You can bring on and put a big show together for independent artists and be able to give away things that they wouldn't be able to get otherwise. Meaning, single distribution deals and things of that nature.
Awesome. I took another approach with building my businesses, particularly Necklace Envy and the nonprofits. I kind of looked at it as a family business model. So my approach was more or less going inside because I'm a digital person. I'm computer savvy. So I created a little small script of myself introducing me, introducing what I do, and I would drop it in people inboxes. I started showing up on people live streams and speaking with them. I started trying to build relationships that way.
Hmm.
It wasn't intentional to meet people that was out there that was movers and shakers, but eventually I ran into them because I was building up my fan base, building my people, getting my people behind me. And
Right.
when you have your people, then other people want to become your friend because we want her people.
We want our
So
people. Right.
that's sort of how I kind of went in reverse.
Yeah.
But but yeah, it worked. It worked. Excuse me.
It took me several years to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people, when you're building a business and you're trying to get, those, you gotta think out of the box. And I like how you said that you would join, other people's uh, if they were their streams or whatever, and you would get on there and you would market. And sometimes you have to do that. And that's what I started doing with the live streams when people were doing music reviews. I hop on and be like, nah, that's not it. And then I start putting my flyers up for my events, opportunities for independent art. But sometimes you got to go into spaces that you normally wouldn't go in. It's all about building your brand.
It is, and I've done some awkward stuff. Let me tell you, I would jump on people live stream, talk to them for a few hot seconds, swear to God that they remember me, and then I would show up to their show personally. Hey, how you doing? Remember you talked to me on the live stream? My name is Peach.
Yeah,
The person would be like, oh, don't worry about it. We're
I,
friends now. We're family.
yeah, I was shocked when you showed up to my showcase. I was like, and then you wanted to talk business. I was like, yo, like, I was having a stressful moment, and I was trying not to be rude. Because you be having a million things going on, you know what I'm saying? But I was shocked when you showed up, introduced yourself, and I think you told me I left you at the door.
Hey, but you remember me, right?
Yeah,
Because
I'll
I
never forget
showed
it. You
up.
showed up. You showed up. I got to give it. Yep.
So it's multiple ways to build your network. Again, the computer is your friend. It's a wealth of resources and knowledge on there.
Mhm.
If you, I realize a lot of people aren't computer savvy, but unfortunately, this is the day and age that we are in. And I would stress that you would try to take some
Yep.
time on it and learn it. And again, if you want to do it the old fashioned way, visit some of these resource spaces like SCORE, Better Business Bureau. Continue to watch this show. Go on
Yeah.
YouTube and watch other entrepreneurial shows. I love our show because I feel like we are very down to earth. We keep it real. We have it realistic. If you are in the chat and you have a question for us, please feel free to drop the question in there, or after the show, drop the question in the comments and we'll answer it on the next show. We are definitely running out of time. So this is only 1 hour. So let me just recap. So far, we talked about what the topic is. She has the dream. What's standing in the way? Number one, access to funding. Number two, fear of failure. Number three, lack of mentorship. Number four, family and caregiving responsibilities. And number five, limited professional networks. That's what we discussed today. When we come back next week, we have six more. One of them is my favorite. I can't wait to discuss it. The mental health challenges. I can't wait to get into that because it's a lot at play with that. A lot of us just suffer from things that's, up here. And we'll talk about if we did and how we handled it
Right.
along with a few other things. Smack, do you have any important words for anyone that's
Nah,
watching?
just if we got any, female entrepreneurs that are on here, and maybe your business just isn't going at the rate you want to go at, I encourage you to join a chamber of commerce. Network is key. We talked about, networking with other industries. I challenge you to join a chamber of commerce, whether it's a regular chamber of commerce or a black chamber of commerce. I push you to do that. It will help your business tremendously.
Wow. Okay. And so my advice simply is if you bullheaded like me and you don't want to get up and join anything that's where you have to be in person, find some online references, resources like Score. Also research. But the main thing is don't let fear incapacitate you. Don't
Right.
allow it to. Just push through. It's okay. I'm not saying that you're wrong for being fearful. I'm saying take that fear and face it. Face it head on and pursue your dreams. Don't let anybody detour you. Don't let anybody stop you. Don't let any negativity get into your way, not even your self negativity. Just keep pushing. All right.
And I
So,
encourage you to download the app. And if you feel like
yeah,
you're ready to give up, it's too much stuff on the app that will talk you out of it, that will empower you, that will give you the guidance you need. Okay?
yup. And rewatch this video.
Chill.
Rewatch this video. So join us next week. What is it?
8 p.m.
Wednesday at 8 p.m. Not ish, 8 p.m.
on the
sharp
dot.
on the dot. And we'll be discussing part two of this amazing subject. She has the dream, what's standing in her way. With that being said, y'all have a fabulous night and we'll see you next week. Bye.
We're going to look at what we call
Yes.
suggestibility.
The male female dynamic. There's actually another way of thinking.
I'm in.
Oh, wow. Thank you, brother. You
Yeah.
know all that.
Check out Beyond the Mind, produced by Peach ENT, Fridays at 8 p.m.
Crazy. Peach ENT.
That's my ish.
Delacroix. Girl, I know you are not laying down. Get up.
For what?
Girl, you gotta get up and go. You gotta take care of you, mama.
And go where?
Girl, come on and get up. Girl, come on. Stop playing.
Take care of you. Take care of me. Your path you choose. Happiness is free. All you gotta do is go, go, go. Let it keep it free, go, go. What you wanna do, just go. Get all you got now. The world is waiting for you. You better do what I do, gotta do what I do, yeah. You already know you can do it on your own. Go into the unknown. Think you really think about stopping? Don't think about it. I know you've been through a lot and you're feeling like your life is ending. You can't give up never, cause it's getting better. You're gonna be a winner. Oh yeah, yeah. Take care of you. Take care of me. Your path you choose. Happiness is free. All you gotta do is go, go, go. Let it keep it free, go, go. What you wanna do, just go. Get all you got now. It's time to make a move. You know what to do. Gotta have a winning attitude, yeah. We can make this thing happen. Keep it strong, just keep trusting in you. Time is not on our side. We gotta win, let's stay in this fight.